Cory, you know what a DUI is,
Oh,
right?
of course. I've never got one, but I know what it is.
Do you know what an MUI is?
No, but I can't wait to find out.
You are going to find out.
Oh, good. Some Florida freaks give new meaning also to this term cooking the books.
Encyclopedia stew.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Well, you've heard that music can soothe the savage beast,
Yep.
right? Well, we're going to find out exactly what savage beasts are being soothed by music in the Sunshine State.
All right, that sounds great. All that and more coming up on this week's episode of the Florida Freak Show.
Hurry, hurry, hurry! Ladies and gents, boys and girls, step right up for the Florida Freak Show!
Welcome back to the Florida Freak Show. I'm Cory O'Donnell.
And I'm Kirsten O'Donnell.
And if you've ever read a Florida news story online or seen a Sunshine State newscast, you know that Florida's greatest exports are weird stories about the people who live and play here, and we have a few of those to share with us, don't we, Kirsten?
As always, but before we start, we need you to throw us a little favor and help out your favorite Florida news and humor podcast, which I'm hoping is this particular
Help us,
podcast.
please.
Please, if you have an opportunity, go to podcastawards.com. We are eligible for the 15th annual Podcast Awards later this year, but we need your nominations.
We need your help.
We're only in 2 categories. Those are People's Choice and Comedy. So all you need to do is go to the website, register, then pick Florida Freak Show from the drop-down menu in those 2 categories. And we need your nominations by July 31st.
And don't worry, we'll remind you again at the end of this episode.
We absolutely will. But enough pandering for now.
Just for now.
Let's get down to business. This week's stories, as always, ripped from the headlines.
Oh, ripping those headlines.
And this first one comes to us from WFLA News Channel 8. A Holmes Beach man was arrested on a recent Friday night for driving under the influence of alcohol. Police say the suspect darted out in front of their cruisers with no lights on his vehicle, and in fact, the officers had to slam on their brakes to miss the vehicle.
Wow.
Here's where the story takes a decidedly Florida turn.
Yes.
The suspected drunk driver was on his riding lawnmower.
Of course he was.
The report identifies Jack Scott Pritchard as the driver. When they stopped Pritchard, the officers noticed the smell of alcohol and slurred speech, and they also saw that the driver had some Mike's Harder lemonade in his possession.
Uh-oh.
Pritchard told officers he was simply retrieving the lawnmower from a neighbor's house and refused to take the field sobriety test. Pritchard has had his license permanently revoked more than 25 years ago thanks to previous DUIs in 3 states.
Oh, wow.
Officers say that even though the vehicle was a lawnmower, it is still dangerous to drive it while intoxicated, especially on a public street without a driver's license.
Okay.
So he was arrested for DUI and bonded out the next day. His wife picked up the lawnmower.
We keep saying DUI, but wouldn't this be MUI, like mowing under the influence? Because if it is, that's something that my uncle is doing every time he mows the lawn.
I think most people's uncles are doing this every time they mow the lawn.
I mean, I'm pretty sure all of those riding lawnmowers come with a
Cup
little
holder?
cup holder, koozie clip, whatever you need for it. I love this idea that, that he might actually be helping out his neighbors by giving him a little trim while he's driving back. Just happens to just sort of slide into their lawn and just trim it up a little bit.
So when he veers off the road,
right,
it's not swerving because he's intoxicated. It's just throwing a little favor to his neighbors.
I think he's just performing a little community service.
I like that. Now, listen, I'm not saying this is right. And, clearly he has some demons trying to deal with.
Yeah, mow them down.
Mow down those demons.
Mow down them demons.
Absolutely. It's been a long time since I read Stephen King's Lawnmower Man.
Oh, yeah.
Is that what this book is about?
Not so much.
No?
The book's really more about like virtual reality, like taking sort of like a challenged individual and seeing if you can make him into an internet.
So more like a Flowers for Algernon kind of thing, or Awakening.
Virtual reality. That's the perfect way of sort of describing
it.
Well,
what if Stephen King maybe wrote a sequel?
Why not?
Or just a remake of the movie?
I think that's a great idea.
I mean, Stephen King movies are getting remade remade all the time. They remade The Shining. They
Yeah.
remade it.
And
Let's
this
do a remake of Lawnmower Man, but put it right in Florida.
Right, and it's a bit more on the nose about the actual lawnmower guy. So if we have any fans who are good with graphic design, if you can put together a new movie poster with our new friend here, that would be great.
So speaking of on the nose.
Yeah.
Can you think of any beverage more on the nose for this story than a Mike's Harder lemonade?
I really can't.
Not a sponsor.
I love the idea of the harder lemonade so much. I feel like that's like liquid equivalent of this goes to 11.
Oh, because it's not just hard lemonade.
It's like most of these just go to 10, but harder lemonade goes to 11. It's one higher.
Interesting.
That's the way I see it.
Is there a Mike's Hardest lemonade?
Gosh, I hope so.
I
I feel like if you're going to have a harder, you have to have a hardest. Maybe it's not out yet, but it's got to be coming to our shelves soon.
I feel like a Mike's Hardest lemonade is the lemonade that gets left on the lawnmower in the hot sun for about 4 days.
Yeah.
And then you drink it.
Yeah. So one other thing that I have, and then we can move on to the next story. What do you think would be the weirdest way that you could get home after some drinks?
Oh, geez.
Like what would be the weirdest vehicle to use or vessel? Maybe an alligator?
Oh, well, it is Florida.
Riding an alligator? How about that? How about a unicycle?
I love the idea of riding a unicycle drunk because 95% of people couldn't do it sober. I feel like it's a built-in field sobriety test.
Yeah, like I feel like if I got pulled over and I'm on a unicycle and it's like, hey, are you drunk? It's like, could I ride this if I was drunk? I don't think there's any possible way I could.
But seriously, talking about unicycles and alligators and that sort of thing, you can get a DUI in Florida, and I assume in most states, while on something like a unicycle or a bicycle or,
that's good to know.
God forbid, an alligator.
So it's not cycling under the influence. It's still driving.
No, Florida has a fairly broad definition of the word vehicle.
Good to know.
Now, I will say that if you're pulled over while driving intoxicated on a bicycle, you do have, this is a little public service announcement for everybody out there who's considering this, which I hope you're not, but you do have the right to refuse the blood alcohol test.
Oh, okay.
Because you are not driving a vehicle that is licensed by the Department of Motor Vehicles.
Oh, okay.
So you can actually turn down that test, but you can also still, be arrested under suspicion for it. People have been arrested in Florida for riding all sorts of things while drunk.
Oh.
Electric wheelchairs.
Wow.
And we have seen plenty of people not saying they were drunk, but driving their electric wheelchairs right down the middle of the street before. Golf carts, absolutely.
Right.
And in fact, a few years ago, a woman in Polk County got arrested for riding her horse while intoxicated.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah, she blew a .161, which is twice the legal limit.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm sure the horse was probably the one most relieved when this whole saga ended.
Sure.
She was actually charged not only with DUI, but also with animal neglect in that case. So, and Polk County, so I'm sure Sheriff Grady Judd had a lot of great things to say.
Oh, sure he did. Yeah. So
situation.
So that's something that you have to factor in, that if you decide to ride your horse, you could actually end up getting charged with more things.
Yeah.
In addition to that. So just keep that in mind, before you pull that horse out of the stable.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, moving on to our next story. This one comes to us from Nova FM. Libraries in Florida, and in fact across the nation, have needed to issue warnings to book borrowers after noticing that borrowed books haven't come back in exactly pristine condition during the pandemic.
That's not cool at all.
Tampa Bay Library in Florida has had several singed books returned to them because people have been microwaving the books to sanitize them from coronavirus. The library in Tampa posted on its Facebook page, "Please do not attempt to microwave library materials as the RFID tags located inside will catch fire."
Oh my goodness. microwaves.
Largo Public Library, just up the road, posted a similar message saying, firstly, that's not how microwaves work. And second, the security tags contain metal and could catch fire. The libraries say that they follow the CDC's guidelines and quarantine books for 72 hours.
Wow.
So there's no need for any DIY sterilization at home.
That's so great to know, because I don't need to hear any more about singed books at all. Putting books in microwaves? What are people thinking? And I'm also wondering, does your microwave have a Fahrenheit 451 setting on it?
A little shout out to Ray Bradbury.
Yeah, maybe it's next to the popcorn. I'm just not aware of it.
Yeah, Ray Bradbury's probably spinning in his grave. Wait, Ray Bradbury's dead, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
yes, he is.
Spinning in his grave right now. But, maybe that Fahrenheit 451 setting, a sequel to the book, Fahrenheit 451, 2 minutes on power level 10.
Oh, there you go. I like that a lot.
I don't know if that's the temperature that a book burns at, but
was there anybody in this story named Montag?
a little literary humor for our listeners out there.
We hit on every single one that we can.
That's
Are people
right.
also nuking their clothes in the microwave when they get them from like Goodwill?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I don't think that's a very good idea either.
I'm just trying to like follow the pattern here. I mean, if you're this worried about it, it's time to just get a Kindle and go digital.
Right.
That's probably the best option.
And let me say this. Kudos to anybody who is actually reading during the pandemic, because everybody we know, ourselves included, are pretty much just binging episodes of Gossip Girl and Entourage.
Right.
I don't know.
Curb Your Enthusiasm for me.
For you. Yeah, absolutely. So kudos if you're reading.
Yeah.
Good job.
Nicely done. Keep them books out the microwave.
Back to Ray Bradbury.
Yes.
The world has been pretty dystopian lately.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, pandemics and whatnot, but I don't think we're quite to Bradbury level yet. So maybe book burning isn't where we are.
Yeah, I just don't like the sort of connotations that book burning comes with it. So let's just stay away from it in general.
So what's the first lesson of owning a microwave?
Don't put any forks in it. Don't put anything metal in it.
Right. Don't put metal in the microwave. Right. And I understand some people don't realize that the theft prevention tags and the tracking tags and the library books are made of metal.
Oh, yeah.
But, sometimes you can actually see them and it's pretty obvious.
Right.
I actually have a story about putting metal in the microwave.
Yeah.
So when I was a kid, probably in junior high school when we got a microwave, because I'm old, and, I was told, don't put the silverware in the microwave.
Right.
But I honestly thought that was like hey, we have nice silverware and we don't want it to get ruined.
Yeah.
We didn't know it was hey, you might burn the house down.
Right.
Kind of
I know where you're
instructions.
going with this, and I'm sort of the same way. When you put leftover food away, you just assume it's like, oh, I can probably just take that and put it right into the microwave. In this case, aluminum foil, I'm guessing.
So yeah, when I was a kid, actually, we had some cookies, and they were a little stale. And you know me, I love my cookies.
Yeah.
So I thought,
especially nice and fresh and warm.
Right. So I thought maybe if I sprinkle a little water on a cookie, maybe a tiny little sliver of butter, give it a hat, and wrap it up in some foil and stick it in the microwave for about 10 seconds. That would do the trick. And again, I was not like 4 years old when I did this. I was like 13. So I shoved my thing in the microwave, and after 2 seconds, like sparks are flying, and I freaked out.
I would freak out too.
So I stopped the microwave. I gave it like 15 seconds, and I opened it up. And you better believe I still ate that cookie.
Well, yeah. It's radioactive now, right?
Right. That's how I got my superpowers.
Oh, wow. So what's your superpower?
I can eat a whole crap load of cookies.
Bam. I love it. Yeah.
So moving on to our next story before I get to my cookies. From WFTS, Orlando's Michael Womer is known as the Gator Crusader.
Oh, I like this already.
Right?
Yeah.
If the name Gator Crusader sounds familiar, he went viral last year when he was on a rope swing over an alligator pit, and the rope snapped and he got dropped into the pit.
Ooh.
Well, the Gator Crusader is at it again. Now, normally he performs with a gator show show in Central Florida. He dresses up, which is something all in and of itself. He performs stunts.
Right.
But during the pandemic, he's needed to keep himself entertained and keep his scaly four-legged friends entertained as well.
Great.
So since the start of the pandemic, Womer has noticed that the alligators' behavior has changed. He says they're anxious, they can tell something's different, there just aren't people around, so he has been keeping them company.
Aw.
He started out singing to the alligators to give them a little company, and now he reads to them as well.
Oh, that's sweet.
Some of his favorite songs to relax the gators include Celine Dion's My Heart Will Go On, the theme
Does
from
he have
Titanic.
an actual penny whistle whenever he does it?
For the solo.
Yep.
He also sings Dust in the Wind by Kansas.
Oh, lovely.
And does a variety of Beatles songs.
Oh, nice.
He also likes to read to the gators, in particular reading comic books to them.
Huh. Okay.
Womer posts the videos to his YouTube channel and says he's embraced the change as an opportunity to reach a more global audience.
I love this story, how the music soothes the savage gator. It's beautiful. While all those songs sound wonderful, I'm wondering if there are some bad songs that you don't want gators to listen to.
Oh, geez, bad songs.
Yeah.
What wouldn't you play for an alligator?
I don't know, but I thought of some gator-themed songs.
Okay.
So I've
Hit
got
me with a few.
Gator on the Lawn by Tom Petty.
Oh, Florida Boy.
Yeah. I've also got Gator Blood by Mark Knopfler.
I don't know that one, but lead singer of
I've
Dire
never heard it
Straits.
either.
Come
Yeah.
on.
There's also Alligator by ZZ Top.
Oh, what about Bill Haley and the Comets? See you later,
See
alligator.
you later, alligator. I love that one too. That one's a good one.
Now,
That's
do
all I
you
can
know
find.
Lionel Richie's Night Train?
Yes.
Full title, Night Train, parentheses, Smooth Alligator.
Ooh, Smooth Alligator. Sounds like Sade. Smooth Alligator.
Right, it's the Florida version.
Yep.
It's the Florida remix.
I love it. Yeah, that's great.
Well, I think I figured out what the worst song to play for an alligator is.
Oh, I got to hear it.
Crocodile Rock.
Oh, yeah.
Because alligators hear Crocodile Rock.
All the time. It's
Right.
probably pumping through the systems all the time.
And
like,
they've
with all
got
the
to be
people around.
so annoyed. Like,
Yeah.
hey, man, I'm an alligator.
I'm not a crocodile.
I'm not a crocodile.
Big difference.
It's like when people mispronounce your name or call you by the wrong name. It's like the alligator equivalent of Dylan McDermott and Dermot Mulroney.
Oh, jeez. And you know those guys are really ticked off about getting mixed up with one another all the time because they got in a big fight about it.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, and they probably hate Crocodile Rock too,
Oh.
For that very reason.
Who would? And believe me, we both love Elton John, so
do.
we got no hate towards Crocodile Rock. But if I were an alligator, wouldn't want to have anything to do with it.
So I've seen Elton John in concert several times.
Oh.
Totally switching gears for a moment here.
Name
Do
dropper.
you know he doesn't sing Alligator Rock? Now I'm saying it. Crocodile. He doesn't sing Alligator Rock either, but he doesn't sing Crocodile Rock.
Oh, it's too high for him.
It
Probably.
is too high. Ever since he had throat polyps and had to
Yeah.
have throat surgery, he hasn't been able to sing
Yeah,
it.
I remember when in his career when he really changed octaves like all of a sudden. You
Yeah.
know, and it's so yeah.
Difficult song for la 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 la.
There's probably a
Can't
lot
do
of
it.
his songs that he does, but that one definitely.
So, have you watched any of the videos of the Gator Crusader?
Just very short snippets.
So the one where he's reading to the alligators,
Uh-huh.
he is right up in their grill.
Oh.
I mean, he is lying on the ground next to them.
Yeah.
Their jaws wide open as he reads, the latest wacky adventures of Deadpool to them.
Well, you got to have an element of danger to the videos, so maybe that's what he's thinking with it. But when you're reading these stories, that you're sitting in an armchair or whatever, and you got maybe a kiddo with you. So I hope he doesn't have the gators like on his lap,
Nestled up in his lap for story
just,
time.
like, nestling into his
These are big gators.
Yeah.
These are not little baby just hatched gators.
Yeah.
These are like 8-9 footers
Oh,
that he's reading
wow.
to and very, very close to while he does this. And again, another person who's reading during the pandemic.
God bless him.
My concern is it's fine and good that he's reading comic books to them right now.
Right.
But I think we need to be careful what we read to the alligators.
Sure.
Because I don't think we want them getting too smart.
No. Yeah, because they could be reading about X-Men and then, so I could mutate and become a super being and get all these superpowers. I mean, it's not a very far leap. I just made it right now. An alligator's going to do it. Maybe it takes them 10, 15 seconds to figure that out.
Right. I think we really need to be careful what we're reading to the alligators.
Yeah.
We don't want them getting any smarter than they are.
No.
So, no anarchist's cookbook,
Nope.
nothing dangerous. Nothing to give the alligators
stay
any
away
ideas.
from any manifestos.
Right.
Anything.
Right. Mein Kampf.
Yeah, right.
Don't read that to the alligators.
Yeah. Maybe even a lot of Isaac Asimov because of all the robotic things, the
Oh,
laws of robotics,
yeah.
which might actually be good for them, but at the same time, don't give them the idea. Don't do it.
But, I
Keep
think
those alligators in their place.
I think it's great that he's looking on the bright side of the pandemic.
Yeah.
He's expanding his audience to a more global group. Some people start a podcast. Some people read to gators.
Yep. We all travel the road a little differently.
That's right.
Yep.
All right, time for our last story. And this one comes to us from news-press.com.
Hey!
That is a website that Cory is quite familiar
Very
with
familiar.
as a former employee.
Uh-huh.
So lovebirds Jason Cole and Jerica Godwin of Matlacha got married this month in one of their favorite places.
Aww.
A place filled with memories and love for them.
Wow.
Any guesses where, Cory?
Oh, well, maybe Cape Coral Beach, since it's so close to where we are. Or maybe
yeah.
the Westin or Cape Harbor, maybe?
Oh, all of those would be wonderful, beautiful places to have a
Picturesque.
wedding. No. Cole and Godwin said I do at Cape Coral's Columbia Care Medical Cannabis Dispensary.
All right, sir. That's a different place. Not what I would think of first.
The pair have been together for about 2 years, and both are Florida medical use card holders. Godwin has chronic back pain. Cole is a colorectal cancer survivor and credits medical marijuana for much of his recovery.
Well, good for them.
So, not surprisingly, the bride describes her groom as really laid back, like an old school hippie.
Man, that sounds awesome.
So
man.
where
Is
else
that
would you get
Freedom Rock?
married? Yeah. The couple says that the choice to get married in the dispensary was obvious to them.
I love that.
They never considered another location for their nuptials.
Oh.
Staff and all of the guests wore masks, of course, and
Mm-hmm.
took special precautions to turn the dispensary into a wedding venue. A Columbia Care official says that the wedding at the dispensary was their first.
Well, this is such a lovely love story for 2020. Sharing the best day of your life with the best things in your life, your best friend, your spouse, and Mary Jane.
Yeah.
I love it. I mean, it's a real uplifting story. And, with a lot fewer people going to church, in this pandemic and more people searching for community, maybe, just maybe, cannabis dispensaries, that could be a new role for them.
Oh, sort of a community gathering place.
Yeah, I mean, why not? It's, Apple really built their empire on making an experience for the users.
Well, same with Starbucks, right?
Yeah, so why not take that same trend and move with it?
Welcome to Marketing 101 with
Right.
Kirsten and Cory.
Yeah.
So some of my questions, okay?
Yeah.
Because first of all, I don't know these people, but I feel like this is a wedding I really would have liked to have gone to. I
Oh,
would have bought a nice
yeah.
gift.
Yeah.
I would have brought a very nice gift if
Yeah.
I'd been invited to this one. What do you have for wedding favors? Like at our wedding, we had koozies, and
Yeah.
I feel like we really kicked off the wedding koozie trend, by
Yeah.
the way.
Oh,
But,
yeah.
At our wedding,
time.
we had koozies. What do you have for a cannabis dispensary wedding?
Maybe a roach clip?
Ooh, roach clip, pipe cleaner,
Pipe cleaners, nice.
bags of Funyuns.
Bags of Funyuns is perfect. You can get those by the dozen.
Yeah, I feel like today is middle school, junior high school story day for me. I actually have a roach clip story.
You grew up in a very fun time.
I was shopping one day at the mall,
Yep.
as you do when
As
you're like
you
a
do.
13-year-old girl.
Yep.
And I was in a local store that just sold all sorts of fun stuff. It sold jewelry and T-shirts, kind of like a Hot Topic type place, only way before Hot Topic was a thing.
Sounds great.
And they had these really cool, like, feathered barrettes for
Oh.
your hair.
Yeah.
And I had seen, like, a couple of girls maybe in movies wear them. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, this is cool. And they were, like, these beautiful blue feathers. And I had
Sure.
long hair then. So I bought it to
Yeah.
wear it in my hair. And I wore it in my hair to school the next day. And that's when somebody informed me that it was a roach clip that I had in my hair.
You're kidding me.
And I didn't know what a roach clip was because I was like 13. And
Sure.
I thought I looked pretty badass,
Yeah.
if I'm being completely honest, because I had feathers in my
Right.
hair.
And that's-
I looked awesome.
That's the time when you need parents that have experience with roach clips to be able to tell you these things before you even go to school.
I don't know if I ever showed it to them
Probably
or
not.
anything. Probably not.
Yeah.
No. So when somebody finally explained to me what a roach clip was, I was super embarrassed by it, and I never
Aw.
wore it again.
Oh.
And now I wish I had it because I think it'd be really cute.
Totally. And then you'd have a roach clip.
Just one handy in case I need one.
Oh. I like to imagine a little Kirsten with a roach clip in her hair. It sounds wonderful.
And my gigantic glasses and my braces and
I wasn't imagining that as much as the roach clip.
My velour Pat Benatar style top. Yeah, I was what's the opposite of cool? Whatever it is, that's what I was. So back to our little wedding here at the dispensary. I should point out the story did say that they originally planned to get married on the official weed holiday of 420.
Right.
But then they, of course, had to reschedule because of the pandemic.
Bummer, man. It's a bummer.
So let me ask you, since they originally considered maybe not technically a holiday wedding, but kind of a holiday wedding
it's a holiday to us.
Sure. Yeah. So what are your thoughts on holiday weddings?
Well, I mean, I don't necessarily have a problem with it, but I like the idea of not getting married on a holiday because that's a special day for you and your spouse. And if it's connected to a holiday, unless it's something that really means a lot to the two of you, but I would like to have my anniversary be something that is completely and totally just for us.
That's really sweet.
Isn't that sweet?
That is.
What happened to me?
My reasons for disliking holiday weddings are not sweet, but I think also quite rational.
Okay.
I think first of all, you never have a wedding on a gift-giving holiday.
No. That's what I'm saying.
Because you're ripping yourself off of a gift.
You're just watering down how many gifts you're going to get.
Right. Christmas wedding, Valentine's wedding, all of those things. Yeah, you're just it's bad enough that my birthday's right after Christmas, and I already kind of maybe get the shaft a little bit on that, you know. So I don't need anybody doubling up on this is your birthday and your anniversary. No, forget that.
Right.
My second reason for not liking the holiday because I've thought about this.
Okay.
My best friend, actually, from junior high school, who probably was the one who told me that my hair barrette was actually a roach clip, though I cannot confirm that for sure.
Well,
when she got married on Valentine's Day.
Oh, yeah.
Which is really sweet. We wore
Very
red
sweet.
dresses.
Sure.
She didn't. The bridesmaids did.
Yeah.
She's no longer married to this man.
Right.
Does that ruin Valentine's Day for you forever?
That's the worry that I would have, is that it definitely could.
Right? If the marriage doesn't work out, have you ruined your memories of that holiday at that point? You know, it's like getting a tattoo of somebody's name on you. You know, if the relationship doesn't work out, all you've got is a painful, annoying reminder, right?
Yeah, right. And you're always going to have like sort of an expectation that you have to even supersede to get back to that holiday being what you want it to be.
Yeah, so novelty weddings.
Just keep it, like, give them your own date. Like, make something new for yourself.
Listen, we picked a date that was like equidistant between our birthdays, so that like there was no overlap at all.
Right.
So I was thinking about this, thinking about novelty weddings and novelty, I guess, locations for a wedding.
Yeah.
The big thing down here, of course, is beach weddings, right? Everybody has to have a beach wedding.
Everybody's got a beach wedding, right? And yet we've never been to one.
That's what I was wondering. I couldn't remember. I didn't think
hard to
we'd
believe.
ever been to one.
Yeah. We've been here 14 years, and we've never been to a beach wedding.
Now, we have, in a way, been to beach weddings.
Oh,
because
right, yeah.
We've been at the beach when, like, basically a wedding just pops up.
Yeah, we've been cutting up and drinking and having fun in the water, and then all of a sudden just a beach wedding just appears.
And it's the funniest thing, and it has happened in the same location to us more than once.
Yep.
We're
popular.
hanging out with friends.
Yeah.
We're having a few barley pops, adult beverages, whatever you want to call them.
Right.
And then, in the early afternoon, people still playing frisbee on the beach, splashing around in the water, walking their dogs. All of a sudden, somebody's setting up chairs and an arch, like right on the beach next to where we're sitting.
Yep.
What do you do? Are you supposed to move? We never moved.
No. If they're going to put it up right where I've been there all day. I'm not going to move
I staked out my spot.
That's right.
I feel bad for these people, though.
Yeah.
Obviously, maybe it's because that particular spot on the beach has sentimental meaning to them. It's where they met. I don't know. But the wedding pictures.
I know. It's just going to have some guy with a beer gut in the background, just like, woohoo! woo. Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
just
right in the
just
middle.
all of us and our friends, beer cans, beer guts, cellulite,
When
the
you're
whole
showing
bit.
it to your grandkids years and years later, you'll have to try to explain what that weird guy is doing in the background.
Yeah, I feel like that takes a little of the romance out of it.
Right.
But
yeah.
so I guess the
And
moral,
each their own.
Yeah, the moral to the story is if you're going to get married on the beach,
Go private.
Yeah, go
Yeah.
with the private beach. That's a crazy thing to me. But you probably have to pay a lot more for that, right?
But of course, if you don't have a lot of people showing up, it might be good to have some drunk crazies around just to sort of fill it all in.
Yeah, I mean, it is Florida.
Yeah.
You got to put your crazies where you can.
That's right. Yeah,
Hey.
make it like a Florida beach wedding. Definitely.
So if you get married at a dispensary, where do you honeymoon?
Oh, I think you got to go to Amsterdam.
Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking Jamaica.
Hey, that works too. Out of the country and in to the marijuana frying pan.
Of course, you can't travel to the EU right now. I don't even know if
that's right.
you can't take a cruise to Jamaica right now. No
probably
cruises, no flights to the EU.
Yeah. You just have to go somewhere where there's legal weed.
Yeah, you got to go to like Colorado
Yeah.
or California
Or just
or
have
Nevada.
to be very discreet with it.
Yeah, that's, there's a lot of logistics involved with a wedding. People don't realize it.
There really are.
So, Corey, what did we learn this week?
Well, I learned that Uber is still a better option to get you home than John Deere.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I learned that if you're going to do a good old-fashioned book burning, skip the microwave and do it the traditional way.
Yeah, let's just not do that, though. I don't like that idea at all. I also learned that cannabis stores may be the new place for sharing love and a blunt.
Oh, you can twist one off after you tie the knot, right?
Oh, very nice.
And I learned today that people will watch just about anything on YouTube if they think that a guy might get eaten by an alligator.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, so those were our freakiest Florida finds for this week. And as always, you can find plenty of other wacky news stories from across the Sunshine State on our Facebook and Twitter pages.
That's right. Remember to follow us, like us, and share us. That's at FLA Freak Show. And if you see a Florida story we missed, feel free to share it with us.
And also, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. And don't forget to tell a friend about us because in the long run, it really, really helps us out and helps us find more freaky fans like you.
Oh, and finally, now that this episode is nearly over, take a quick trip over to podcastawards.com and submit your vote for Florida Freak Show in the People's Choice section and the comedy categories.
Please.
All you need to do is register, then pick Florida Freak Show on the drop-down menus in those two categories. Until next time, I'm Cory O'Donnell.
And I'm Kirsten O'Donnell. We will be back next week. And until then, let your Florida freak flag fly.
Goodbye.